How are the pair of socks that I got from Adidas? They're $30.
Yeah.
$30 for 4 pairs. And I already have a hole in the sock. That doesn't make any sense.
It's brand.
Brand? What do you mean brand?
It's the brand. I mean,
bro,
you pay
I'm
for your
telling
brand.
you, like, it should not be a thing. I should
It
pay.
should not. I agree with you.
I'm paying for these socks, and they better be good quality. That's what it should be. I don't know. We got off into a random topic here before we started this podcast, but we're coming in heavy. We're coming in hard. This is our very first podcast of the Leisure Hub podcast. Said podcast twice, but I don't care. I'm rolling with it. This is a
Feels
podcast
good.
that you guys were clamoring about. Congratulations. You finally made it to the very first very first podcast.
Very first episode. It feels good. Definitely feel like we're exploring something new here.
Yeah. Insert some sound effects in here. Sound effects.
Confetti.
Yeah, the confetti one. Yeah.
Some confetti sound effects. I don't know what sound is that.
Whatever time it is, that's what we're here for. So this is what I'm gonna say to not just you, Pedro, but to all of you little peoples out there listening. Kick your feet up, relax, and shut up, because now it's Justin and Pedro, and we're getting ready to talk about some shit. That's what we're talking.
Don't worry, it'll be fun.
I hope it's fun, because if it's not, I don't think people are gonna want to listen to it. But yeah, we know another podcast, but we have something very special to offer you that no other podcast has offered. Do you know what that is, Pedro?
I don't even know what it is. What it is?
What do you mean you don't know what it is?
What is it, Justin?
What it say it? Dime en español. Tell me.
Yo no sé. Yo no sé.
Our own personal hobbies. And before you go off the rails and say, well, I have hobbies too. Yeah, we know you got hobbies, but we got hobbies that you like that we can relate to. And so today we are going to talk about our own selections for Spooktober. So today's podcast is going to be showing us some scary games that we can recommend to you during October, because everybody wants something scary to play, right?
Or spooky.
Or spooky, scary, casual. You do what you gotta do. So you're brought by me, Justin, the host, and by my
co-host, Pedro the Tatty.
What is going on? Somebody, they are going hard out there. They are getting pounded. I don't know what it is. We're recording.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but if you hear something in the background, we have questions about it too.
We're investigating it right after this podcast, and we're calling 911. We got my dad, Officer Herbert Watson, on duty. He's gonna make sure that he gets down to the bottom of it for you guys. But Paige is gonna come in hot with a hot hand of a game that he loves himself. So I do want to preface by saying that these games that we will recommend or suggest are not games that we think are 10s. They're not games that we have in any order or anything like that. These are just games that we have either played or we know about or are coming out that have piqued our interest. So Pedro, do your best. Come to me and tell me what you got.
All right, I'm going to start off with MediEvil.
You're going to start off. No, I need more zest from you. That's what I need.
I'm sorry. It's all I got. I want to start off with MediEvil.
And what is that?
MediEvil is originally it's a PS1 game. It's a spooky, fun game. More not horror, or it's just more about the Halloween feel. You get what I mean?
That's the one with the skull, right?
Yes. So you play as this little character with the skull, and basically you go around. It's a very gamey game, if you want to say that.
What is a gamey game to you, Pedro Madero?
A gamey game to me is more of anything that feels nostalgic to PS1, PS2, or even the original Xbox 360.
Right.
So, you have a map to follow, kind of like Mario. And then you select that stage and you start that level. And every world that you go into is different themes. And this game is exactly like that. I love playing it because it brings me the feel of Halloween, not necessarily the horror aspect of it.
Wait, was this a remake, or was it a or like a remaster, or was it like a part 2? Like what? Like,
so yeah, they remade it again. It's more of a remaster than no. It's actually a remake.
what did it get? What was the overall like reception of the game? Was it good? Was it positive? Do you remember?
It was positive, but in my opinion, I really do not care about like what reviews it gets.
Damn.
It's more of my take on. Yeah, I'm very open about it because hey, I know all of you have games out there that had bad reviews, and they are still very dear to your heart. So
I want to go off that point really quick.
Yes.
So like literally, games have reviews, right? And you and I've talked about this before. Games are subjective.
A lot of times.
Games are subjective. Well, reviews are specifically.
Yeah.
And so like you'll go around and like you'll watch a review on like a game before it comes out to whether you should buy it or not. And like rightfully so, right? Like case a point, I know this is not a spooky game, but Cyberpunk 2077, right? A lot of people who bought that game, they got burned, and I know every single podcast has touched base on Cyberpunk 2077. I know it's been killed. It's been killed. But the point is, that's why reviews exist, is for people to actually like watch them. Oh, don't buy this, buy this. This is our review. But like at the end of the day, yeah, you give like ideas on like script writing and like story development, character development, blah blah blah. But like at the end of the day, it's like it's an opinion whether you enjoyed it, because there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of times that people will play a game and they actually enjoy it, like, and the whole community absolutely doesn't like it.
Yeah, it hates it. But it's still very dear to your heart, and then you'll get offended by the reviews it gets. And sometimes we might feel bad about it, but hey, don't feel bad. If you like a game, you like a game.
It happens a lot, honestly. Like I think that like when you hear people talk about the games that they enjoyed more, that like, and you can hear the passion in it, you're like, oh man, like I want to play that game because the way that they're talking about that game sounds like the best game ever. And even though the reviews were not that great, it makes me want to play that game. So I just looked it up. The developers were Gorilla Cambridge, and it got a 6.5 on IGN. Now, I don't know if that necessarily means that you shouldn't buy it or not. I don't know. This is just a spooky game.
I don't think so at all.
No, on a scale of 1 to 10, like how spooky would you say it? Is this for like what a 6-year-old should be playing, 7-year-old, like, or is it too scary for that? Or
it's perfect for kids, definitely, like in because it brings that vibe of Halloween, like I said. But if you're an adult like I am, and are still in love with that feeling, it's a great game to play. You don't necessarily need a horror game to feel spooky, if you get what I mean.
You don't need a horror game to feel spooky, but sometimes you need that, right? Like,
yes,
you need that.
Yeah, you do need that. But in terms of this game, it's not the great gameplay. It's not the graphics of it. No, it's just a game that I have played during the month of October. I have played, while the leaves are falling and the leaves are changing, and it brings in the whole vibe while you're sipping on some pumpkin spice coffee or something like that.
Is that what you're sipping on? Pumpkin spice coffee?
I wish. I'm currently not, but I wish I was.
You're saying I'm a bad host. That's what you're saying.
Man, where's the pumpkin spice coffee?
Listen, Victoria, that's my girlfriend. She doesn't like pumpkin spice all that much. She's a hater for pumpkin spice.
Oh,
don't hit on her too hard. Oh, you're going off on me, Pete.
Oh,
what are you doing? No, but like that's kind of like, you have these games that come out, or like they're fun to play, like Luigi's Mansion, right? Luigi's Mansion,
I love that game.
Is another spooky game.
Yes,
but it's very kid friendly.
Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played 2 or 3.
Okay, so you played only the first one. I haven't played the first one. Tell me about the first one.
The first one, oh my bro, the first one, I loved it. Dude, it was great. So there are speed runs in it. Obviously, there's speed runs for every single game that you can even imagine right now. Like these people that I watch for speed running, they're insane. I could never be me. Could never be me. But essentially, as if most of you people, if you guys haven't even heard of this game, which is very rare, but I'll give you a breakdown. You're literally playing as Luigi, who gets an invitation to a mansion, right? That's how it starts.
I've never played it. Never played.
I do remember him getting a letter from like somebody saying that Mario, or from his brother saying to come check out Mario to check out this mansion. He gets there. He ends up finding out that his brother's nowhere to be found. It ends up being this scary mansion that has ghosts and everything like that. And obviously, spoiler alert, boom, 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 boom. If you haven't played this game already, you need to play it. It's for GameCube. I think they remastered for the Switch. Maybe. I don't know. Not really sure.
I don't think so.
No. But Bowser is the final boss, but he's actually dead. His head is cut off. So this is actually canon from one of the previous Marios. And your objective literally is you meet Professor Egad. And he creates this vacuum cleaner that can suck up ghosts. And so you're going through the entire mansion, sucking up ghosts. You get coins, and you end up getting to like different bosses. You have to complete different puzzles, and once you complete that, you get to like the final boss of that area. It's like every area of the house or the mansion is like its own unique area tailored to that ghost boss. And eventually, you work your way up to the top of the mansion. When you do that, there's some stuff you have to do in between, but eventually Bowser and King Boo are the final bosses, and then you fight them. And then at the end, what I really like about Luigi's Mansion, and I'm not really sure if did this with 2 or not, is they when you collect money in currency throughout the entire game, and you can suck on like vases, you can suck on couches, you can suck on a whole bunch of other things. What are you smiling about?
I don't know, man. The way you say suck on.
You're just chilling over there. But you could use your vacuum cleaner to suck on a whole bunch of stuff, and you'll get coins, money, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the game, it gives you a whole tally of how much money you made throughout the entire game. And I can guarantee you, I mean, I'm sure there's other games that do it, but that's the one that sticks out to me that off the top of my head that does it.
So it's kind of the same concept. I mean, I haven't played Luigi's Mansion 2, but the Luigi's Mansion 3 is the same concept, except it's not a mansion. It's more of like a hotel.
Isn't it? I did hear about that. Yeah.
It's more of a hotel, and then you go, every floor is different theme, and it's really cool. Again, if you're looking for a nice Spooktober game, Luigi's Mansion 3 is a really great one. And each level is different themes. You know, there's like a pirate theme one, like an Egyptian.
This is all in the hotel?
Yes.
No,
like
it's not.
All in the hotel. Every level is like, it's different. Like I said, there's a pirate theme. There's a movie theme one with like cameras rolling and stuff like that.
When I tell you that I have barely looked at like anything for Luigi's Mansion 3, like I wanted to be surprised when I started playing this game. It's been a game that I've had on my list, my Christmas list.
Yeah.
For like a long time, and I still haven't been able to get the game, but I'll make my way to it. I judge your expertise. So you've played Luigi's Mansion 3, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say, I mean, you're gonna talk about this game and you haven't even played it.
No. I strictly recommend it if you're looking for a Spooktober game.
I do think there's some other games on our list of games to recommend that we don't, either Pedro or I haven't played. So for example, Pedro and I have definitely played Outlast 2, right?
Oh.
Or, well, have you played 2 and 1, or have you just played 1?
The only one I've played is the one I played at your house. The one
Outlast, and that's the one you I'm talking about, the one where you're literally a news reporter with a camera and you're walking through, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me backtrack. Outlast, if you don't already know what this iconic game is, literally it's a survival horror game where you are a news reporter trying to uncover the secrets of this insane asylum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that you have is a video camera. you have no weapons, nothing. It's literally like what we call like in 2023 a walking simulator, but for scary stuff. That's literally what it is. Wouldn't you like describe it as that?
Yes, I mean, I am the kind of person that would describe the slightest thing horror.
No, you're not.
Yes,
I would not
play games. I do not play games like this. It's just like I said, I started with spooky fun games for a reason, because I do not play horror games like that. I mean, I play them maybe for like at the time when I went to your house and played Outlast. I would play it for about a couple 40 minutes or something like that, but I would not play this at my own house. I mean, I would recommend it for horror junkies, but I take your word for it.
You take my well. Listen, I will say, for over the years, I've gotten like almost numb or desensitized to horror games, horror movies, horror shows.
Why is this?
I think it's just because I've watched too many, but I will say. There is one thing that I watched recently, and it was intentionally because it caught my eye. It was scary, and I was like, this seems like it's scary. And so my girlfriend and her friend were hanging out this past weekend, and I was like, you guys want to watch a scary movie? We had just gone back from Jason's Woods. highly overrated. Field of Screams is better.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I love Field of Screams.
Field of Screams is so much better. But anyway, back to the subject at hand.
Okay.
Outlast. So I played the first one. The second one I started, and I played it actually last year for October, for spooky game season. But I never beat it because it was, by the time I got to play it, I was so busy last year that by the time I actually got to play it, the season was over, and I know I can still play it, but like there's something about October and playing scary games.
It's the whole vibe.
Yes. And I know for a fact that like going through Outlast, like I had never heard of it before. I know like a lot of these games, they come out on PC first and then they get ported to PlayStation or Xbox. But like this was one of those games that I had never heard about before. I heard like some of our friends from college at the time talking about it. And like eventually came on a PS4, and I played it, and it was like you're literally just walking through this asylum, getting scared to death, and like you can die. Like these patients are attacking you.
It's very scary.
And like the only way, and then there's like a whole bunch of dark sections of the game where the only way you can see is using your video camera, and obviously the video camera dies, so you have to, it's like an old school like recording camera, or
one of those that you see in like the 90s 2000 movies.
A camcorder. Okay. And like you have to find batteries, so you have to pick up batteries around. So the only thing you're really picking up are batteries, and you're picking up like notes to find out what's been going on in the asylum. So there's like the two things that I've noticed, like that's a game that I would 100% recommend. And as a good segue, you told me about the first time you played this game, which is where?
At your house.
What was another game that you and I played at my house?
PT.
Do you
horrible experience?
Oh
but
my God. Do you guys remember PT? PT had the most potential at the time when it came out. And at the time, that was the very first time you or I have ever seen, and pretty much the whole gaming community have ever seen a game like that, ever.
Yeah, it was. Again, I played it for 30 minutes, and that's it.
There was a whole thing on it. Like everybody was on that game. You can't even technically call it a game. It was a playable trailer, hence the name PT. Mm-hmm. So I'll give a little bit of my memory of that game, and then you give me a little bit of yours.
Yes.
But like literally from what I remember watching the conference when Sony came out and Kojima came out and Norman Reedus came out on stage, and they're like, we have a new game, blah blah blah. You can download it, play it. They gave a little trailer. Well, so basically you're walking in first person mode, right? And I remember downloading it. I remember I played it at my other friend's house, and then you and I got together, right?
Yeah.
And like bro, the game was like we had to go on and find forums and like different people were like finding out these riddles. You had to put headphones in and like whisper to the baby, I think it was, to
Oh
get the
my
baby to
goodness.
start crying, like to soothe the baby. Bro, this game was the most horrifying trailer gaming experience I've ever had. Ever had. And I loved it. It was a great time. But honestly, you remember that lady that was standing in the hallway?
I actually don't want to remember this.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The lady that was standing in the hallway. She was so basically, let me backtrack and explain this for y'all. But basically, this game was, you would walk through. You're basically in your house, but you're walking down a hall. You walk down a hall. You make a hard right. You walk down past the door, underneath the chandelier, straight through another door. And you go down a pair of stairs, you open the door, you're back in that same loop. So the whole room loops, right?
Yeah.
And as you're going through the loop, different things will start unlocking. The more, like, I think it's like 3 times you go through the loop, the door will open or something like that.
I remember that.
Yes. And once that door opens, and you have to like peek inside, and then the door will quickly shut. It's like stuff like that, bro. I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm having flashbacks, and I'm like, the game was freaky. And I can't say enough. If you are an avid, like, if you are looking for something really spooky for the Spooktober, that is the game for you. That is the game for you, Pete. Give me your best remembrance of this game.
My best remembrance, it was that I think I was coming to your house from college.
You were coming?
Yeah. So, and all the blinds were, so Justin is the kind of guy that would, as soon as you're rolling into the parking spot or whatever, he's outside waiting for you. And
like Jason or Michael Myers, right?
Yeah. So this time he wasn't outside. I just saw, people peeking through the blinds. And so I knock on the door. Everything was dark inside.
Wait, but Davey ended up coming with us too, right?
Yes, it was you and Davey.
Yeah, one of our other buddies, Davey, ended up coming along too.
You and Davey. And I opened the door, and everything was so dark, and like the lighting just looked, spooky. I don't remember if there was even candles lit, but it felt like there was candles lit. But anyways, they had a chair like already put in the center for me, and the TV. So as soon as I went in the house, I can just sit down and play the game, and they would watch me. Like, they wanted to watch me play this game. And it was so dark, and I remember I was so scared. Like I said, I don't play these games. With 2014, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. And toxic. Right. I agree on that.
Yeah.
Can we get off the topic of these horrific games?
No, this is all month, baby. this is all month. All month. So you're talking to me about your fear, right?
Yes.
You're saying this game struck fear in your heart.
Yes.
You know what other game struck fear in my heart? What? Fear 2.
Fear 2. I never played it.
Fear 2. But we're going to come back after this break. We're going to take a little break, and we'll get back to you with Fear 2.
I was expecting you to fart again.
Well, I was going to do it. But then I was like, you know what? If I do it, it's not going to be the same thing anymore. Like, you can't replicate something that you did naturally. I farted, by the way.
That was not.
No, it wasn't a real fart. Like
it was
we were
too
getting
perfect.
yeah, we were getting ready to start again, and then like I was like, okay, let's come back in strong, and I just I farted, and then Paige just started laughing. He's like, wait, I'm not recording. So, but last where we left off was Fear 2, and so this one I can't say. I mean, it was very well received on Steam. Very well received. It got a 9 out of 10.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, all right, Fear 2, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
What's it about? Like, is it like PT, where whether you're inside of a building?
Honestly, dude, it's been such a long time since I played Fear 2, but essentially, if I could give a little description of what it is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm reading 100% off of the about. That's what I'm reading off, because when this game came out, it came out in 2009. So if you can remember anything about 2009,
Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. That was the only thing we were playing. Only thing we were playing, and occasionally, yeah, we were playing some other things too. Which Modern Warfare 2 didn't have anything spooky in it, right?
It did not. But if you need a game to take you back to 2009, I feel like Modern Warfare 2 would be.
What are you talking about? Modern Warfare 2 came out like 2 years ago.
Stop.
You're like, that's not the same one.
Talking about the OG.
Oh, the OG MW2. But they have all the MW2 maps in MW3 now.
I know. Can we not talk about that?
We won't.
Later.
Later. We'll talk about Fear 2. So I'm just going to read straight off of it. All right.
Okay.
So it's a first-person shooter, psychological horror video game for the 360, PlayStation 3. And it was a second game.
Wait, FPS?
Yeah, it was an FPS.
Okay.
So essentially, from what I remember, is it literally, like, I feel like games back then didn't make a whole lot of sense, like in terms of story. Like,
why is that?
I don't know. Like I'm thinking back to it, I'm like, I don't really remember what this game was even about. I just remember it being scary.
No.
I remember this was a game. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this was a game that obviously I didn't have a job yet. I was like 14.
Yeah.
But I remember getting this game. But you know where I got it from?
Where?
It was from Blockbuster.
Wow.
Like I
believe you. I believe you, because
yes.
when Modern Warfare 2 was coming out, and now I'm coming back to Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was coming out. The first poster I saw from it it was at Blockbuster.
It was in a Blockbuster. Dude,
it's crazy.
Going to a Blockbuster was like the shit. It was like not only can you go there and you can like look at a whole bunch of like videos, and obviously the back section had all the nudie stuff.
Oh, of course you would. See, I don't remember that.
See, I remember that, bro. Oh, the back had the nudie stuff. Maybe I'm just putting that in my mind.
Did we go to the same Blockbuster?
I don't know. This Blockbuster was like in a back alley.
That wasn't Blockbuster, bro.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. Anyways, but Fear 2, one question I have for it is it's FPS, but is it one of those that you have, like, you pick up an ammo pouch and it's like 3 bullets, or like, like survival FPS, or is it like you have enough ammo to bring down a whole demon army?
No, I would say it's more of a survival.
So you had little ammo to go around.
Yeah. You're picking up all your ammo. Yeah, you're picking up ammo. Like, you're constantly picking up ammo. And so there's this like little girl that will pop in to the camera every so often, and she looks like the Grudge.
Yes, I've seen the cover of this game.
Yes.
I've seen like a couple, trailers that you can say, but I just haven't played it. But I've seen this girl. She has her eye popping out and shit.
Okay, so this is the story, right? And I'm reading 100% off of Wiki, and so this is how it goes. And I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but the game begins 30 minutes before the end of the first game, Fear 1. Okay, there's an army or secret agent force, whatever you want to call it, called Delta Force, and they've been deployed to take, I don't know what, Gene Vive. I don't know, the president of Arkham Technology Corporation. They're immediately attacked by Black Ops Squad from another mission, and they have hallucinations of the young girl.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go into the full story because I'm reading this and I'm like, I have no idea what the story even is. But so I'll say this and then we'll pivot because I have no idea what this game. Yeah. But essentially what I remember is as a kid playing this game, I remember getting it from Blockbuster. Oh, they're going at it again.
I don't know what that is. The whole floor vibrating.
Yeah, whole floor. You sure that wasn't your fart?
No, I don't fart.
Yo, you don't fart. So from what I remember getting this game, Blockbuster, playing it on I think Xbox 360, and I remember like the first part, like you're this Black Ops agent or whatever, you're part of the squad, you're rolling in, and like you're shooting some bad guys, and eventually you start getting these visions of this girl with dark hair.
Like, are you in a forest or are
no? You're just like you're near some buildings. You're on a street, like you're in like a back alley. Deal? Yeah. And this little girl pops up out of nowhere, and then like it's like a jump scare, so it catches you completely off guard. And I never played the first one, so I don't really know how the first one goes.
And this is for the 360,
360, PS3.
Okay,
yeah. So these games, man, like I remember and at that time, like you know when you get a game from Blockbuster, you only got a week to play the game. I didn't get very far in that game at all. Like I didn't get very far in it at all.
Was it scared?
But what I can say is I was definitely scared, and I turned that game off. So if you're looking for something classic to go back to, 2009, that game, I know it did a terrible job of explaining what that game is, but look it up.
Should be pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I'll throw a trailer actually on the screen, like right now. Now you should see a nice, pretty little trailer or like some gameplay or clips of this video so you can see what it looks like. So that way, like my description isn't as broken as the next thing. So yeah, Fear 2 is one of those games that unfortunately I don't know too much about, but you know what I do know a lot about that has another 2 in it.
What?
The Evil Within 2.
That I played for less than 10 minutes and I turned it off.
Why is that?
Because I'm just not, I can't. I bought it thinking it was, not as scary as it was going to be. And I decided to sell it to GameStop for about $2.
So basically what you're saying, it was too scary for you. That's what you're saying.
Yes, it was too scary for me. like I said, I like spooky games, but horror games are not my deal.
Horror games. Well, okay. So the Evil Within, I didn't play Evil Within 1. I kind of just jumped straight to 2. And like it's weird how in games that kind of ends up happening is like, at least for me, I don't know if the same thing has happened for you, but like there'll be times where like a game that I've never heard of will come out and it'll be the second one. And I never played the first one for whatever reason. Maybe it just flew under my radar. And like the second one will come out and I'm like, bet I want to buy that game. I want to get that game. And I get it and I like it. And it's like I go back to the first one. But have you ever experienced going to the second game and the second game has more functionalities, it has more features, but then you go back to the first one and it has less features and you're like, I can't.
Yeah, you just can't play it.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you can if you want, like if you really want that experience, but it's not going to be as enjoyable as the second game.
Because you're expecting these features to be in the game that aren't really in it anymore. Yeah. Like the second game will introduce these like game changing features, and it's like, well, this is a no brainer. Like this I'm glad this is in it, but the first one doesn't have it, and it kind of like lowers.
It's like you're going back to regular Goku from going Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? You're just going back.
Who?
Goku.
Who's that?
Come on, man.
Honestly, bro, I don't know who that is. No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be something? We talk about like anime, movies, games, music, technology. We talk about a lot of our hobbies, snowboarding. And wouldn't that be like something if I was like, yeah, we like anime, and then you were like, oh, Dragon Ball Z Goku? You don't know who that is? No, I don't know.
Yeah, Goku is the face of anime.
Is he though?
In my opinion.
In your opinion? Okay, because I was gonna say like you could argue in the face of anime could technically be Pikachu. Think about it.
I see that.
Yeah,
I mean, I can see that.
But anyway, Evil Within 2. So Evil Within 2, you start off with the character. And what's the character's name, Pedro?
For Evil Within 2? I don't even know the character, dude. I don't remember anything about this game. I just know it turned it off. It was like a tall, like the tall creature. It has like almost like tentacles. I know you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if they're tentacles.
No, bro. It's funny because I threw Pedro under the bus right there because he's never played this game, and I completely forgot what the character's name is. So I was like, hold on, let me distract you guys for a little bit while I find Sebastian's name.
Sebastian?
That's his name.
Okay.
Sebastian Castellanos. And so essentially how the game starts is you're going after your daughter, Lily, right? Young girl. And you're in your house and like the house starts catching on fire and actually I'm skipping through this. Anyway, I'll just jump forward to the part that I actually know.
Okay.
I remember. Okay. I'm doing a terrible job.
It's a spooky game though.
It's a spooky game. It's a spoopy game, as some people
I'm sorry.
call it. Yeah, come on. But anyway, so basically Sebastian is trying to save his daughter, and his daughter was taken captive by these people who are utilizing her for whatever reason. Let's just pretend like I know what it is. And he's brought into this facility called Mobius.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a hospital setting type deal.
No, it's like a secret lab type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Mobius, not to be mistaken with Mobius, the vampire Marvel.
Morbius?
Did I say the same thing? Okay, well, not the same thing.
I don't think people are gonna be confused, bro. Are you good?
No, they're definitely gonna. They're like, oh yeah, we know what he's talking about. So anyway, this lady who's from the first game comes to him and says, "Look, you can save your daughter. She's trapped in this like simulation type of thing, and she's controlling everything." Blah blah blah. Later on, you find out she's controlling everything. But anyway, you agree to help. Sebastian denies it. He ends up going to help the other lady, whoever calls you in, and you get in this pod, and then it drops you into like a deep subconscious of your daughter, and you're walking through this.
So
puddle.
you're basically in your daughter's body.
Your daughter's brain, yeah.
Okay.
Like her subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, you have different, almost like levels of fear. You know what I mean? So like, or not levels of fear, but like you're going through, and the first thing is like you're trying to save your daughter, but the house, like you're walking in like this pitch black area, and like the house is burning down. And so you try to go into the house, and when you finally get to the door, and you finally get into the door, it teleports you into like the world for subconscious. And as you're going through,
so is this like dream walking type deal?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like that.
Like what was it called? When you're, anyways.
Astral projection.
Yes, astral projection.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But as the further you go through this, you see that there's this other guy who's inside of her subconscious. Brain? Yeah, who's like killing all these operatives who went in to try to like extract your daughter Lily. And in the game, not only do you have to worry about this guy who's killing other bosses, but you have to worry about these creatures that she's creating in her subconscious.
Yeah, I like that. I like that concept so much. Even though I can't play the game, but that concept, it's top notch.
But it's freaky too, because like there's this chase scene. I'll throw it up on screen too. But there's a scene where this giant malformed lady with dark hair, like she's gray, she has these like giant arms, she has like a saw for her hand.
I think that's the creature I was talking about.
Yes, her.
Yeah.
She ends up busting out of the door, and she ends up chasing you. You have a chase sequence.
Yeah, I can't.
Dude, it's a great game. It's a great game.
I bet it is. You
have a lot of these creatures that will come out that you have to fight.
What do you fight them with?
It's just like basic guns. It's nothing like crazy scientific, but you have like pistols, machine guns, shotguns, crossbows. What's that?
Melee weapons.
You have one melee weapon. It's a knife, and I don't remember if it breaks or not, but you have like periods where you'll go through a linear section, and then from there it'll go to almost like an open world section, and then it'll kind of go back to a linear.
So this is kind of like Resident Evil.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, actually, yes. I don't know why I didn't say that in the first place.
Okay.
Evil Within 2 is very similar to Resident Evil, and I would assume, because I haven't done a lot of research on this game. I kind of just played it, but this game feels like it's heavily inspired based on Resident Evil. If anything, like as a competitor. I don't foresee them ever coming up with a third one for this. I think it kind of like ended, but maybe open.
It's been a while, probably 2018.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember it was 2018.
2018. Yeah. I would say 2018. 2018 was the last time that it came out.
Yeah. Right now, we can going off of that. We could talk about
wrong. Actually, 2017. Corrected you, bud.
2017.
Yeah, it came out in 2017. Yeah.
Okay. So Resident Evil.
Which one? There's a whole bunch.
Okay,
dude, they've been on a kick with remaking these games.
Yes, I mean it obviously is working for them. Going off of, but I commend them for remaking and not just remastering.
Yes,
that's the big thing. I mean, remastered games were, especially when they started coming out, it was a great thing, but then the graphics and it weren't that all great. But then remakes started coming out, and then there was more oomph behind it.
Yes,
dude. More graphics. I mean, I don't really care about the graphics, but hey, you're selling them at $60, $70, price point right now. So now, yeah, that's what I mean. So make them, the way a $70 game is worth today. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another topic that we have on our list of topics.
We could go crazy on that. Thing. But anyways, Resident Evil. The only one I've played, because I am such a kitty cat when it comes to these, horror games.
There's another word for that, right?
What is it?
Let me get real close to you guys right now. Let me get really close. We call that a puss.
Yeah, well, that's me. I have no shame. But the only one I played is
no hair, no shame.
Yeah.
Wait, smack your head real quick.
Huh?
Smack your head.
So the only one I played is Resident Evil Village, and I enjoyed it very, very much.
You didn't play what was the one before Resident Evil's Village?
That Biohazard.
Biohazard, yes.
I haven't.
You didn't play that one?
I have. People are being if I like Village, people have recommended.
That's the one that kind of like started this whole thing. Right?
I know. But I just decided to play Village, and I really enjoyed it.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. It's time to cancel Pedro. Cancel culture come out right now.
Come and get me.
No, but you would say Village, right? That's the one that you would.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Why?
A lot.
I feel like you're not giving me anything on that. I feel like you have repressed memories.
I know.
Repressed memories. Like you were too scared to play that game.
No, I wasn't scared, but I was definitely skeptical at first. It's definitely a game I did play, I think, a year or two ago during October, and I just wanted to feel a different vibe than the regular spooky games I would play regularly, like Luigi's Mansion or MediEvil.
Right, like a instead of like a casual spooky, you wanted an actual thriller.
So I took the risk, and it paid out with the whole. I mean, it was scary in terms of a few pop-ups here and there, but I feel like it was more of a suspenseful, like creepy,
like a thriller almost.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Yes, but actually no.
No,
I wouldn't say like a thriller. I would say more of.
That's interesting because like now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't really classify it as a horror. It has horror elements.
You see, that's crazy. That I would classify that as horror.
It has horror elements,
crazy.
But it's a okay. Well, let me ask you real quick. Wait, so in movie genres and even game genres, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have different genres. So you have horror, you have sci-fi, you have thrillers, you have horror thrillers.
Yeah.
Right. You have different like in betweens. Would you say that this is an in between type of game? Would you say it's like a horror and a thriller, or would you just say it's purely just a horror?
I would say when it comes to like the werewolves and
there are no werewolves in that game, bro.
There's no lichen?
No.
Are you sure?
There are no werewolves in this game.
Yes, there was.
None.
I might be crazy.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I was about to say. Dude.
I was like,
so I guess in that aspect, I wouldn't consider that horror. I just wouldn't. I consider that more of like a thriller.
Right. That's why I would say it's a thriller.
And I guess it's a hybrid. I guess you are right. But when you're in especially in the house with the dolls, me myself, I would consider that horror. And that baby scene, that baby, like the whole newborn fetus, big thing chasing you. I would consider that extremely horrific. Dude.
That was Resident Evil Village. Oh
okay,
my God.
I'm gonna tell you this. I did not play that scene. I pressed pause. I went to YouTube and looked up the exact way I needed to go because I was not going to deal with that baby by myself.
Wow, I completely forgot about that scene.
Yes, it was the worst.
I
didn't even play it by myself. I had to look it up.
That was the third boss, right? Or second?
I think it was the third.
Because now that I remember, it was the doll that was like a bride. She was like a bride.
Yeah,
bride doll. Yes, that was, I would say, out of the entire game, that was the creepiest scene.
The creepiest. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, guys.
Every other part was more of a thriller. Like Lady Dimitrescu, she can step on me, but like, step on me, queen. But other than that, like, the doll boss was the only like scary horror actual element. That baby was horrid.
Yes.
Was horrid. We never even said like what this game even is, what Resident Evil 7 or Village is. If you've never even played Resident Evil,
you should play. It's a good game.
While you're listening to this podcast, download it. I'm sure it's on sale right now on PlayStation, Steam, Xbox, wherever you buy your games. Not Switch though, because I don't think it's on Switch.
I doubt it.
But this game follows the path of Ethan, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm bad with remembering names, and he's from Resident Evil Biohazard. So this takes place after the first game. This is after you save Mia.
Yes.
Right? That's Mia?
I think so.
Or I might be getting confused with Evil Within 2. But anyway. So you save her, and then basically Mia, spoiler alert, gets shot. She ends up dying. And then your daughter is... like they take your daughter for whatever reason, because you don't know at this point why. And they take your daughter, so your mission is to go find her, and you find that your daughter is from this ancient old school village. So you go throughout this entire village where something mysterious is happening to the people of the village. They're turning into these werewolves.
Very, very mysterious.
It's like you're in like a snowy, misty forest area.
There's the werewolves on top of the roofs.
They're
inside
like
the houses.
Yes, bro.
It's creepy. It starts off very creepy.
If there's anything about Resident Evil games, like they're meant to be played slow because your character is not very fast at all. You know what I mean? Like your character is just very slow, so you can't really react very quickly. So you have to just be very precise, and you can't use your ammo very. You can't use up your
really
ammo.
Smart about your ammo.
Yes. So that's the other thing that we would preface. So basically, you're Ethan from the previous game. These people break into your house. They steal your daughter. You go to this mysterious old village, creepy village, where people are mysteriously turning into these werewolves, and you have to find out why they took your daughter. You have to get your daughter back, and then slowly but surely, you have to go through these different trials or these different bosses in order to figure out or find out where your daughter is. And as you're finding your daughter, you realize that she's broken up into different pieces. And once
it sounds horrible, but it kind of makes sense while you're playing the game.
Yeah. There are these little pieces that she's in jars, in these jars. And once you collect, was it three different jars?
I think it's 4.
4 jars? You put her jars in this like pedestal, and then it activates this whole thing where now you're fighting the main boss. And spoiler alert as well, you find out that Ethan was what? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
So Ethan, like they bring up the questions like I can't remember who he's talking to, but it's like the final boss, and she's like, "How do you think you've managed to like survive all of these like stab wounds and falls and stuff like that?" And it's because he was actually a byproduct of how they were creating some of those monsters in there.
I remember making it all make sense in the end.
And I was like, oh my, that was, now that I'm thinking about that was a twist that I completely didn't even like. I didn't appreciate until you and I are just sitting here on this couch talking about it. Like it's a good twist.
It's a good game, good gameplay, good story. It's a good spooky game for sure to play during this fall season.
You falling asleep on me?
I'm not.
No. It's a long day over here. But we like a lot of games that have a Victorian style look to it.
Come on, let's just talk about Bloodborne.
Oh, you just threw us right into it. You were like, you wasted no time. No time.
Bloodborne.
We have a great segue for the after this one. After this one, we have a great segue. But Bloodborne. I've been doing a lot of talking. You tell me what you loved about Bloodborne most. But before you do that, describe what the game is. So for our viewers, because I've been doing a terrible job. But you tell me what this game is.
So Bloodborne,
but don't do the story, because the story is like, I no one knows what the story is. No one does.
No, I really don't. To be honest, if you play Bloodborne, you will not play it for the story. Actually, once you start playing it, the least thing you'll be worried about is the story.
100%.
But Bloodborne is From Software game, and it's not part of, but it's same style as the Dark Souls series. This game, it's one of those things where you light the campfire, but instead of lighting the campfire, you light up like these lanterns with people reaching them. Like, would you call them people, Justin? Like they're just like little dead people.
Oh, like little blue hands coming up from like the little lantern.
Yes, and then you just light them up, and basically that's a checkpoint.
But how do you start out? Did you remember that, right?
With the wolf.
But even a little bit before that, like when you just start the game.
You might have to remind me.
Oh, I remember. I mainly remember because I've watched enough speedruns of this specific game. Bro, I'm telling you, these speedrunners have this stuff figured out to a T. To a T. They have, anyway, I could go off a whole tangent on that. But essentially, you wake up on an operating table.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this, like, I think he's like the old hunter or whatever, but he's operating on you. And he injects you with, like, some blood. And then you wake up off of this surgical table.
Yep.
And then from there, then you like kind of like move around, you explore the area, and then you go fight that giant wolf that's right in the first area.
Yes, giant. I don't even think I played this game during October.
No, I did not. When did this game come out? Hold on. While you're saying that,
but it takes you there. It takes you to this, spooky. Like something that you would want to play during Halloween season or spook.
Oh, for sure.
And has all these Victorian London elements in it, with werewolves, and you just walking in the streets at night, and there's lanterns, and the bosses are very and creatures are very. They look like they would be in a thriller movie.
In a thriller movie?
Yeah.
You would say that?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, especially like the werewolves and I'll say Jeepers Creepers type deal.
Wait, let me ask you. Was this your first Souls game?
Yes.
It was mine too.
Yes, it was mine too. It was my first Souls game. I didn't even know what a Souls game was.
No. I remember when the trailer came out, I saw the trailer and I fell in love with it immediately. Yeah. And I remember that was what everybody was talking about at the time, like almost like Elden Ring.
Yeah, but Elden Ring blew up. Anyway, that's another game for another day. But
trying to stay on topic, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to stay on topic.
But Bloodborne. See, I'm usually the guy that plays Assassin's Creed Far Cry,
Trash.
Call of Duty. You know,
Trash.
I'm just that gamer.
No,
if you would call me a gamer, I don't care what you say, but I'm a gamer. But anyways, this was my first.
You got games on your phone?
Oh my god.
You got games on your phone?
Classic Clans. But when I first got to the first boss, which was the Cleric Beast.
Yes.
Cleric Beast. I didn't know what a boss was.
We had a competition to see who could beat that first. I won, of course. I won.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
I did not know what a boss was. Like, I thought General Shepard was a boss. You know what
General
I mean?
Shepard.
But the Cleric Beast showed me I had to try to beat it at least 50 times.
The feeling that when you beat a boss,
I felt like a champion.
Oh my god, it's all the adrenaline. Everything kind of just like all that weight finally was let off your shoulders, and you're like, man, it felt like you ran a marathon.
Yes.
Felt like you ran a marathon.
And,
but this
and
game,
you want more.
You're like, oh, where's the next boss? I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So like like Pedro said, it's a very Victorian style game, and it's very dark and misty. And like the one thing I can say about From Software, they have the weirdest creatures ever. They're unique though. They're so unique.
Yes. But you can tell From Software creature.
Oh,
from any other game.
Any other game. And like honestly, that dark, moody vibe is perfect for this time. Like Spooktober is all about the spooks, and like it doesn't necessarily always have to be jump scares. It could just be the setting that you're in.
Yeah, it could be the vibe that a game gives.
These like you're a hunter, and you're basically not an actual hunter, but they call them hunters in the game. And you're basically going around hunting these like werewolves, these people who are changing into these werewolves. Because what was the reasoning? Was it like the blood harvest moon? Yeah, the blood moon.
I think something like that.
Yeah. And like I remember in the very first part, I struggled with this game because again, I've never played a Dark Souls game before, ever. And so I remember getting to the first area that
Which one?
It's before the Cleric Beast. Well, because you can take two different routes.
Yeah, you can take two different routes. You can go to the Cleric Beast, or you can go straight to the Father.
Yes.
Father or Hunter?
Well, this is you remember when they were burning like a cross?
Yep. I don't think it was a cross. Was it a cross?
I don't know. They were burning a werewolf on the stake or whatever.
Yep.
And I remember going through that path probably at least 50 times.
Yeah.
I remember
the
you
mobs.
and I. Yes, the mobs were always there. I remember talking to you like, bro, I can't get past this part. This part's so hard.
And you would try so hard, and you would go back and upgrade your weapon, and you have to repair it. And oh man, that takes me back.
Repair it, upgrade it, everything like that. You can't beat Souls games. I do think that the more you have, like the more of them you have, the less kind of like nostalgia there is for it.
Wait, what was that?
Like the more Souls games you have, the less nostalgia you have, because like
because you really cherish that first one.
Yeah, well, because it's like Souls games are very like they're a rare commodity, like you know what that means. Like they're not common.
Like you have to have a taste for it.
Well, meaning like before Elden Ring, before Bloodborne, right? There wasn't a lot of like clones of like Dark Souls games. It was
they were a pioneer in the gaming industry.
Yeah, they were pioneer for this style of game. And nowadays you have like these companies who are making games that are similar or inspired. Remnant 2, for example, like I guess you could say that's a spooky game. It doesn't have horror elements, but it's a little spooky because of like the tone that it sets. But that game was very inspired by Bloodborne and Dark Souls games in general.
You can tell.
Yeah, 100% you could tell. There's a few other games that were inspired by Bloodborne 2. Lords of the Fallen, which it hasn't come out yet. It comes out this month. And then you have
it gave me Lord of the Rings vibes.
Lords of the Fallen?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about, but
he has a lantern.
I thought it was a Lord of the Rings game.
Okay. So let me preface by saying this is how I would describe the game based on the trailers that I've watched. Okay. So it's a very Souls-like game, and you're in the land of the living. Yes. 100%. And you're in the land of the living. In the land of the living, you basically go do what you would do in any Souls game. There's a whole bunch of enemies prowling around. You kill them, you gain like souls, or in this, I don't know what you collect in this game, but let's just pretend it's souls. But you collect souls, you use that to upgrade your character, your weapons, etc. Now here's the catch about Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, what was that?
If you go fight a boss, or if you're just fighting regular enemies on the fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you die, you go into this place called Umbriel, which Umbriel is the land of the dead.
I wonder if it's like Sea of Thieves. I don't know if you play Sea of Thieves.
No, I've never played Sea. Is that even a spooky game, man?
It's not. It's not. I'm sorry, but I have to relate. It relates to it because when you die, you kind of go into like this
like
spirit realm type deal.
Like Davy Jones.
Yeah, that
type
deal.
of.
But anyways, I guess that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Now, but instead of a loading screen, would it be like you do gameplay? Like you traverse this world.
You traverse this world, but here's the catch with Umbriel. Umbriel, the longer you stay in the land of the dead, right? The longer you stay there, the harder it gets. The more the enemies want to come after you, the more enemies want to like kill you, the harder they get.
Huh.
And then not just that alone, but there has a very a high risk, high reward scenario. So yeah,
Is
the
it
enemy
like loot boxes.
Not loot boxes, but you know how like in Dark Souls games, there's like glowing little like items that you can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So the longer you stay in Umbriel, the more like souls that or like of their currency of that game you can get from it, and then you can use that to upgrade. So the longer that you're there, you can actually benefit from it. But the longer you stay, the enemies get harder, and if you die, like you I think you get reset back to your last checkpoint.
In the real world.
In the real world. But you essentially get 2 tries. First one, you're in the land of the living. Second time you die, you're in Umbriel.
So you wanted. Hey, that's kind of cool. That's a new concept.
Yeah, it is. It is a new concept. But like you can get out of Umbriel. I don't exactly remember how you get out of Umbriel, but once you get out of there, you can kind of like come back to the world of the living. That's your whole goal. If you're in Umbriel, you don't want to stay there for too long. You need to like get out of it.
Okay.
But if you're feeling daring, or you're a pro gamer like Pedro over here, you can 100% last of it.
No way.
But the other thing that's a really cool game mechanic that they have in it is that you carry around this lantern, and this lantern, you can, let's say there's a puzzle element, right? So you're walking around, you get to this gate, which is what it showed in this trailer, and I'll throw up on the screen for you guys to watch. But basically, you come to this gate, and you can't get past, and that's the only way through. There's no other way to go through it. So you'll take your lantern, and you can shine your lantern on it, and it'll show you what that gate looks like in Umbriel, so the land of the dead. And in the land of the dead, it'll show you that it's a broken gate, and so you can walk through it. And once you put your lantern away, the gate is fixed. So you're literally crossing into 2 different dimensions just by like a lantern.
That's insane. You know, that really shows the power of the next gen consoles.
It shows the power of the next gen consoles, and I love what companies are doing with like taking games that already exist and expanding on them.
Mm-hmm.
Lords of the Fallen actually was a game previously. They had it on, I think it was PS2 or PS3 and Xbox 360. This is all from what I've heard, from my own like research and stuff like that. And so they're having a second go at it. And from what it looks like, this game looks fire. It looks so good.
Huh.
So, but like another instance of this where people were taking a concept that already exists, and then going off of it is, so we talked about Bloodborne into Lords of the Fallen, but a more close representation of Bloodborne is Lies of P.
Now, you told me about this a couple of days ago and today.
Yes, I did.
I want to know more about it.
So from what I've gathered from this, right? Lies of P is the tales of Pinocchio.
Wait, like this is like referencing Pinocchio, or it's like
Pinocchio? No, you're playing as Pinocchio.
Wow.
So don't look at
like is P short for Pinocchio?
Yes. So you're Pinocchio.
What?
Pinocchio.
That's cool. No, it's sorry.
No. Go.
Does your nose grow every time you lie or something?
It does have lying components in it. Like if you can choose to lie, and there's a game mechanic in itself there.
Right.
But as far as your nose,
I wonder if it is like kind of like BioShock, where like if you choose to lie, like whether you kill or save the little girls in BioShock.
Oh yeah,
I wonder
because you're Big Daddy.
Yeah. So I wonder if whether you lie or tell the truth. I don't know this game, but
it does
takes an
have
effect on the ending or something like that.
So from what I did hear when I was listening to another podcast called Podcast Beyond, which they talk about PlayStation games, but I guess Lies of P isn't directly a PlayStation game.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about it, and it has lying in it. You can lie or tell the truth in it, and if you like, there's certain elements when you're supposed to lie, and there's certain elements where you're supposed to tell the truth, and that affects like some of the gameplay.
Okay.
As far as I know,
cool.
I haven't played it.
Cool concept.
It's a game that's on my list for Christmas because I'm a little kid and I have to write my little list for Santa. But Lies of P is not. You know how like Disney has Pinocchio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like that Pinocchio.
Oh, I bet.
It's like the Pinocchio from there's like an older book from the 1800s that's the Pinocchio that they're referencing. So it's like a darker, grittier Pinocchio story.
This all sounds so cool.
Dude, if you want a game that's very similar to Bloodborne, that's like, I mean, directly inspired from Bloodborne. Lies of P.
You can definitely tell.
Is 100% based on it. And it was actually made by a studio in Korea. Did you know that?
Nope.
Yeah, this game came out last month. So if you're looking for another game, this is not a sponsorship at all. Like no sponsorship. Yeah. We were just 100% talking about games. But if you're looking for another game that's close to Bloodborne, if you really like that one, if you haven't even found out about it, this game somehow flew under your radar, Lies of P is the game for you. It's definitely on my radar. And I don't know about you, P, but I'm trying to play that game.
I want to watch you play it.
You're going to watch me play it? You can, bro, you love Bloodborne.
Oh, man, I know, but I'm a dad. I got 2 kids, and I got to be really careful with my timing.
No, you can play it. I'm sure you can make some time for it. So we got a couple more things on our list, but we'll give you one other one. And Pedro wanted to put this one on our list. I thought this one was interesting because I was like, he put it down, and I'm like, how is this one like a spooky game?
Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah, Hogwarts. I thought about it, and I was like, maybe, but
it's not a spooky game, but it's more of like the season,
the
fall season.
Okay.
And if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that the fall and the winter are big on Harry Potter.
Yeah.
For some reason, you know what I mean? I mean, it's witches, wizards.
Well, I think that's why. Because like when you think of Halloween, you think of like a witch.
Yeah.
And you think of like magic.
Yes, and I'm very big on that.
Like Hocus Pocus. Not exactly the same thing, but yeah. Like
but yeah, potions and like in Hogwarts Legacy, it's that game, and I don't think I have to explain what this game is.
Yeah.
If you watch Harry Potter, but basically, it's you're a student in Hogwarts, and yeah, you get sorted into a house, and it's really cool. Like if you ever wanted to be a Hogwarts student,
it's an open world game, right?
It's open world. The game is big. It's everything you would want in a Harry Potter game. You get what I mean?
I mean, okay, hot take here. Hot take. And this is just me.
Yes.
So you guys are more than welcome to like whatever you want. I have never been much of a Harry Potter fan.
And that's okay.
Why you're judging me over there?
Not,
you
bro,
are. I know
I'm
you
not
are.
Judging you. I'm not judging you.
Like, why don't you like Harry Potter?
That's okay. I mean, I love Harry Potter.
He's giving me the middle finger right now. Is that why they call you Pedro Tatty?
No.
Why do they call you Tatty?
Nope. I won't say it unless someone asks.
I just asked. I'm someone. I just asked.
No, anyways, Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Dime papi. If you're into Harry Potter and you want to play a game that's in season, definitely give Hogwarts Legacy a try.
Why should they?
Because the game itself has seasons in it. So every act.
Oh, that's cool.
Every act is a different season. So you would start out, I think, in the summer, and then the next act will be in the fall, and the next
Dope.
act.
Didn't we talk about that like a previous conversation before? Like way before, where like games need to have more season elements in it.
Yes,
I would love that actually.
and it's cool because like if like it makes you play the game more, especially during that season. You know, you don't have to wait till October, but hey, maybe in Christmas you would do the winter section of the game or something like that. You get what I mean?
I
You
wish
could play around with that.
Yeah, I honestly, when I think about it, I feel like there's not many like fall games, like games that take place in fall, like purely fall. It's the whole entire game. You're in fall, and maybe it switches to winter. Like, can you think of any games that do that? Because I can't.
I can think of Animal Crossing.
Well, Animal Crossing is it changes seasons.
That's
but
what it does change the season, but it's also a good game to play on.
But you know what I like about Animal Crossing?
What?
I like how whereas Hogwarts Legacy, yeah, I don't know why I can't say it. I like where that it's based on like the chapter, your progression in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing is purely based on the season that you're currently in real time,
which is cool.
I love that.
Cool. I love that.
I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But yeah, Animal Crossing. But Hogwarts Legacy, I mean, even whether you're in summer, fall, winter, spring, it still feels like an October game or a fall game.
Yeah.
Just because you're a witch, you're a wizard, you're dealing with potions, you're dealing with magical creatures, and you know this whole, it's amazing. The whole game is amazing.
Who could be considered a magical creature?
What?
Jason from Friday the 13th.
A magical creature.
Well, not a magical creature,
like
but they like a demonic, because he doesn't die. Same thing with Michael Myers, right?
Bro, but when I think of magical creatures, I'm like rainbows and unicorns.
Well,
I don't think.
Well, yes,
but I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I get
because they're like they have this like they're an entity that can't die, right? And so like if you're looking for a game that can do that, like give you that feel of like this invincible like feeling, you know, game I would say.
Are you talking about like Dead by Daylight type deal? Oh yes,
Dead by Daylight. So if you're looking for another game that you want to be the killer or the slasher and instead of the victim, like in most horror movies and stuff like that, and games, Dead by Daylight is definitely a game, and it's been around for a while.
Yeah, this one really sets the tone for October.
Yes,
and it's a game that you don't play for the story.
No, there is no story.
It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're playing tag.
Yeah, I mean, there's lore. There's lore, like why it's happening, but I don't think there's like an actual story.
I don't think so either.
No,
it's as much fun as Evolve.
All right, I'm gonna throw Evolve up on the screen right now because Pedro just reminded me of a game that was absolute garbage.
Hey, I had fun with it just because I was playing with you, Justin. Just because I was playing with you.
I appreciate that, but that game, was trash, bro. It was literally. I'm trying to look it up right now.
It had potential.
It had potential.
But it was so what made it bad? It was unbalanced. Like either.
You know who made that actually? Turtle Rock Studio.
I don't know.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Oh my god, bro. I mean, I'm like, you don't know who that is? I can't even give you a name. But like, okay, they made Left 4 Dead.
Okay. Same people that did Back 4 Blood.
Yes, they also made Counter-Strike.
So Evolve was a fluke.
Evolve was a fluke.
It was just unbalanced.
Yeah, it was definitely unbalanced. It's one of the it would be considered a spooky game technically because you're a giant monster.
Yeah.
But Dead by Daylight, you essentially, I think they have different like slashers that you can pick from. You have Jason, you have Michael Myers. You have a lot of people you can choose from, and basically, you can either try to be the killer, or you can be like for the victims that are trying to escape. The only thing I would say about this game that makes it a hard recommend to play for Spooktober is that it's a little bit of a hard entry because the game has been out for so long. The game came out in
Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, when did that game come out?
I don't know, but it's really popular. It is really popular. I feel like it always has been.
It came out in 2016 was the initial release. Now, the reason why it's a little hard to get into is because people have been playing it for so long. It's still running. Like the servers are still up for it. So the issue is that people have already gotten really good at it.
It's big.
So like if you're gonna jump in it, you probably should play with friends just to get the ropes.
Definitely play with friends, but
yeah,
I still think you can still jump in it. You know what I mean, and do your thing.
Yeah,
but playing it with friends is so much better and so much fun.
I think that you could say that about any game, honestly.
True.
Now, Pedro, there's so many other games that I wanted to talk about today. So many other games, but to wrap it up, one other game that you would give your own personal suggestion to, your own personal opinion. It's not based like over a review or anything like that. Your own other personal review or opinion on a game that you would say fits the bill for Spooktober.
In my opinion, and you guys know me.
Know you? We just met. I don't even know you.
In terms of how I feel about horror games.
Yeah.
I would say give Pumpkinjack a try.
Pumpkinjack. I've never even heard of this game.
Okay, so this is Dark Souls.
No, it's not.
This is in my opinion. This is kind of like Dark Souls, but that whole Halloween vibe, like literal Halloween vibe, with like he has a pumpkin for a head.
Whoa!
And there's a lot of pumpkin elements and Halloween elements to it.
Dude, I just looked this up. He looks dope.
Yeah, it is very dope, and it plays just like Dark. It's a Souls inspired game.
All right, I'm gonna throw this up on the screen for you guys. Throw the picture, and here's like a little bit of like a trailer for it right here. Here you go. I hope you enjoy that.
It's a Souls inspired game. Think of it if MediEvil and Dark Souls had a child, this would be the game.
Wow, literally, he's like Jack the Ripper, right? Not Jack the Ripper. You remember Billy and Mandy?
Yes.
Do you remember like the guy with the pumpkin? He had a scythe. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen because clearly somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. But Billy and Mandy, there was an episode where the Grim Reaper cut this guy's head off. His name was Jack, and he cuts his head off, and he Jack replaces it with a pumpkin. That's who this guy reminds me of.
Anyway, it's cool though. It's cool looking though. Right?
No, he looks dope. He looks fire. Cool looking, so this game got a 9 out of 10 on Steam.
It is really good. It is really good. I enjoy playing it.
It's on PlayStation, Nintendo, Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Microsoft, like your PC, Xbox Series X and S.
So that would be the one I choose.
Unfortunately for you mobile gamers, it's not on. It's no games on your phone. No games on your phone.
What about you, Justin? Which one would you suggest for them to give a try?
I would say for something that's recent, something that hasn't come out yet as of this recording. Okay, Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 has a high, like it has incredible potential. Okay, the creators of Control made it. And if any of you have played Control was a fantastic game. Honestly, I knew nothing about it going into it, and what I love so much about it is that they're combining Alan Wake 2. They had the Alan Wake 1 came out before that, obviously years ago.
It looks really really cool.
Oh, dude,
with the whole people moving fast. I've never played an Alan Wake game, but it looks like something I would play.
Like, I would say, like, this is one of the games that, besides Spider-Man 2, it's not a Halloween game, but this is one of the games that have come up on my radar that I'm down to play. It has this horror element. It gives me, like, this Resident Evil type of vibe. I've never played Alan Wake before. This is exactly what we were talking about, where, like, sometimes you jump into the second game not knowing what the first game is. But, like, in this case, I played Control. Control was a great game. And like it in this case, Control had like you had a gun, and this gun would shift into different like guns. One would be like a shotgun.
I've never played it, but I've always wanted to play it.
I'm telling you, bro, if you can borrow it from me because I have it. I know you don't have a lot of time.
No, I actually have it. They give it for free in PlayStation.
Oh, did they?
In PlayStation Plus, they actually gave it for free. So I added to the library. I just never got to it, but I always wanted to play it.
It's coming out on October 27th. It's a sequel to Remedy's previous Alan Wake 1. They're connecting the universes from Control to Alan Wake 2. Definitely check it out if it's in your radar. Definitely check it out. It's a horror game. And I think you can pick between Alan and the other character that they're introducing, which is a nice little spin on it. And a lot of games are bringing in like souls and are inspired by souls, not directly sometimes, but sometimes they're changing.
It might be that Elden Ring inspiration.
Yeah, 100%. So, but honestly, bro, dude, this has been so much fun. I don't know if you guys had fun.
I am looking forward for more of this.
This was episode 1 of our Leisure Hub podcast. Thank you so much for everyone who joined.
Thank you.
We appreciate the strong support. I know we're just starting out, so we're working out some kinks here and there, not to be mistaken with Pedro's kinks. But so just to let you guys know, we drop a podcast every week on Friday, so be on the lookout for these podcasts. This whole month is tailored towards Spooktober.
You will not regret it.
Not regret it. So make sure you watch out, keep it spooky, and be on the lookout. Catch you on the next one.
Amen.